I'm TJ Johnson.
And I'm Mayor Connie Schrader.
And this is the Heart of Bastrop Talk Show. Can you believe it's season 2, episode 6 already?
We've had so much fun, and there's more fun today.
Absolutely. We have some wonderful guests, so tell them who's coming.
So our first guest today is Lisa Holcomb with the Bastrop Opera House, and we know there's always good plays going on at the Opera House.
Absolutely.
And then we also have Sapikas with the Bastrop County Museum and Visitor Center, and you haven't been to the museum, I heard.
I haven't, and I'm really excited to take a look at the footage from that.
Well, as always, there's things to do in Bastrop, and we're so happy to share with you the Opera House and the Museum and Visitor Center. Stay tuned.
So we're here today with Lisa Holcomb, and I understand that you have some exciting stuff coming up this season at the Bastrop Opera House. So can you tell our audience about your upcoming season?
Sure, we actually have several shows coming up. I think the next show that's coming up is the Bar Association play, and it's called Blood Feud in Bastrop. It sounds gory, and it kind of is, but that's fun. But it's based on historical events that happened at the turn of the century, and that is happening April 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
And I believe that's the 7th annual.
It is. It's the 7th, yes, and it's written by a local attorney, David Bragg, who's also the president of the Bastrop Opera House. And he puts in a lot of work gathering information to make sure that it's historically correct.
I had been to them before, TJ, and they are an excellent play. And one of the great things, as we so often do in our community, is that it is also a scholarship fundraising for Bobby Jenkins.
I saw
He's
that.
a well-known attorney that passed away a couple years ago, and the Jenkins family is well-respected in Bastrop. And it's always neat when you can do something fun for your family and also help someone else.
Right, and the other interesting thing about this is that the majority of the people that you will see on the stage aren't really actors. They are your local attorneys and judges, and that just really makes it a lot of fun to watch them get up on the stage and act this out.
One of those judges has spent the last several weeks growing a beard so he can get into character. So he told me that he opened his daughter opened the door and said, "That looks terrible," and then he explained that he was doing it for the play. So that's how dedicated the community is.
Yes.
I saw my friend Derek is also one of the attorneys that's going to be on there, and I was like,
Derek's done
I've
it
got to
several
see this.
times.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's so different. So it's actually a trial that took place in Bastrop County, right?
Yes.
And so they're basically reenacting that trial.
They are, and at the end of the show, the audience gets to vote as to whether they are guilty or innocent.
So the audience is the jury.
So you're like a jury, and it's
wow.
interactive, and you get to see all the evidence produced. And
I
it's
love
really cool.
that. That is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully, tell us the dates on that again.
April 23rd and 24th and 25th. Now I will tell you that the Saturday the 24th is already sold out.
Wow.
And the Friday and Sunday is going quick. So.
Well, I'll be sure to get my tickets because I do not want to miss that. That's exciting. And so, but you have some other stuff coming up as well. Can you tell us about the rest of your season? You guys have a lot of fun stuff.
We do. We have a huge musical coming up that's opening May the 14th called Hello, My Baby. That's got a wonderful all-star cast, and you'll probably see some very familiar faces and some new faces as well. That's a show that's very time period, like 1920s, a lot of fun music and costumes. And Midsummer Night's Dream is coming this summer too. I don't think Shakespeare's actually been done on the Opera House stage in a long time, so this is going to be a big cast, a lot of fun. And then we will end the season with Nunset Boulevard, which is one of our nun shows that we've done in the past before.
Well, Midsummer Night's Dream is my favorite Shakespeare play.
Yeah,
so
you can't go wrong with that one.
No, that's amazing. And what are the dates for that again?
That one is, it's in July.
So it's summer, so that's
Yes.
perfect. Perfect time to have that. That's exciting. And so Lisa's been on with us before, and we talked about just how amazing and beautiful your building is. And actually, Connie, I believe you said your husband learned how to shoot in that building.
Oh yes, it used to be called Teen Tower,
Yes.
and underneath the stage they would put a metal backdrop, and then the guys
Shooting
would
range.
lay down, shoot prone, and learned how to shoot in there. I was going to point out that, like so many of our community assets, you had to really pivot for COVID last year. And I know that one of the things you did was get a new stage floor, and I bet you are enjoying that new floor.
That's an understatement.
I've been back there, and there's some spots there that it was a little scary.
And our set designers are really enjoying it because they're not having to, build, it's flat now.
Right. Build everything on a curve.
Yeah.
And so another thing that you guys started doing during COVID is you have live performances where they can watch from home.
Yes, we started streaming most of our Saturday performances for those that aren't comfortable yet coming out, or even, and we hope to keep it going even after COVID. Because we have so many people that have family members that
I was thinking about grandparents that may not be able to make the drive into Bastrop, or just people's calendars may keep them from coming to town. But how great it is to be able to live stream.
We actually have a children's production that's going on this coming weekend, and lots of streaming tickets sold for that.
Oh yeah, grandparents everywhere,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So you don't for the live streaming, you could be anywhere in the world.
You could, yes. When we did Elf the musical, we had people that had nobody related to us at all, that were from across the country, that were buying streaming tickets and watching.
Well, I believe you were one of the first theater groups to really come back. That
we were.
You guys have the cool, clear mask, and just hats off to you and your board for making things work, because I think there is a pent-up interest, and people are wanting to get out, and they're always such great shows.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing thing to have something like the Bastrop Opera House here. And I know that anyone who's ever been to a show there, we went to the Valentine's show the year before last, my husband and
Yes.
I. Oh my gosh, it was such an experience. We had such a great time, and it's just amazing how you guys can just have so much different things going on, not just plays, but like that show that was
right.
That
and we're
great.
looking forward to hopefully this next season being able to slowly get back into some of that, where we would be able to have the dinner theaters and the bands that we would bring in, in between the shows. And, we haven't been able to really do that this last season. So we're looking forward to being able to start to incorporate some of that again.
That's amazing. So I know that we've talked about this in the past, but you're a nonprofit, and you can always use volunteers. So
yes.
So can you maybe tell everyone how they can come about being a volunteer for the Opera House for production?
Well, they can always just email us, or they can call. We also, on our website, we have a handy little form at the top. It says volunteers, and they can just click on that. And it has this whole form, and it asks them questions about, what would you like to do, and what days might you be willing to be involved. And that comes straight to me, actually, and then we are more than willing to get people involved.
And you can do everything from make popcorn, work the concession stand, to paint on scenery.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So there really, if you have an interest in the Opera House, it's a great way to meet some of your neighbors.
Right. And don't think that because you've never worked lights or sounds that you can't do it, because we have excellent tech that are more than willing to train people.
That's great. That's great. So it's on my bucket list to audition for one of your future plays, or as long as it's not singing, because I don't want to scare everybody. But when you do one that's not a musical, it's always been on my bucket list to be. And I haven't done that since I did a course at Texas A&M, and we did a production. Let me see if I can remember. It's been a few years back. I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Yeah, it was an eon ago, and I had so much fun.
Well, they're doing auditions for Midsummer next month, so there you go.
There we go. That might be. Well, thank you so much for coming out, and I know that Connie and I both are really looking forward to the next season. You guys will see the information on the bottom of the screen where you can go to get your tickets, or live stream a production of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey Hey,
Hey,
Sarie.
Sarie.
Hey, Sarie.
Hey, Sarie.
Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie.
Hey, Sarie.
So I'm here with Gilbert. He's the owner of Lab C, and I'm super excited because, of course, it's crawfish season, and Lab C has the best crawfish in town from what I understand. But first, before we get to that, I want to hear a little bit about your story, like what brought you to Bastrop, what inspired Lab C. Do tell.
So back then, 2019, I have a restaurant in Houston.
Okay.
That's a seafood restaurant.
Okay.
So, but you know, I'm Vietnamese, so I know kind of the fusion. Actually, I lost that restaurant to my partner.
Oh. Yikes. Okay.
You know, after showing them all the recipe, they kicked me out. I was off for around 8 months.
Right.
I really don't know what to do.
Right.
And we just researched online, and then there's a Saigon Garden down the street. It used to be mine, you know, second generation. I bought that business, not a property, just a business. And again, got screwed over because I didn't do my homework. They did not tell me about a highway inspection.
Oh, man. Okay.
So, you know, with that being said, that's how I got here in Bastrop.
Right.
And after that, I lost hope. Like, I really don't know what to do. I really don't know what am I going to do.
Right.
And then, for some reason, the man up there, you know, he didn't look after me.
Yeah. So neat. That is really cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. That's a really meaningful name.
So basically, like you said, it's not only the restaurant, it's not only where I'm making money, my workplace, but it's also my soul baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really shows through the food from what I understand. This is my first time here, but I'm really excited to try it because the whole town is buzzing about your restaurant. Everybody is like, oh my gosh, you gotta try Lab C, you gotta try Lab C, all over the place. It's awesome. So your soul is reflecting through your food, you know, it's showing, because I'm telling you. And then you got voted best of Bastrop, right?
Yeah, after 2 months that I opened, it's kind of a pleasure.
Yeah, you have blown up real fast and made a name for yourself. So you are going to treat me to a special dish, correct?
Absolutely.
I'm
yeah,
really
it's my
excited.
pleasure to serve it.
I'm really excited to try it. So, all right.
Okay. You need butter?
Okay, so admittedly, I've actually never eaten crawfish before. So how do people normally eat it? Just pick it apart?
Well, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Let me join them with you.
Oh my gosh, I am so grateful to Gilbert and everybody here at Lab C for letting me have my very first crawfish experience here. Oh, so I was really nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna try the crawfish for y'all, for Hey Sarie, because everybody's been asking who's doing crawfish boil in town. So, you know, I needed to deliver, but I was real nervous. But oh my gosh, let me tell you, amazing crawfish at Lab C. So there's actually boiled in Sunny D instead of just plain water, and you can really taste the difference. It's sweet and tangy, but then the seasonings and the rub that Gilbert has made is also salty and tangy and has a little bit of a kick as well. So, I mean, oh my God, there's so many flavors going on with this crawfish. It's absolutely amazing. Hands down, I recommend completely recommend it. So they serve their crawfish on Saturday and Sunday, and then of course any other day of the week that they're open. It's never going to be a failed effort to come on down to Lab C and enjoy their delicious, fresh signature seafood. All right, y'all, thanks so much for watching Hey Sarie, and keep your questions coming.
Whether you're a lifelong resident to Bastrop, new, thinking about exploring it, or just plain curious, be sure to submit your questions to theheartofbastrop.com or heartofbastrop@gmail. You can either write in or send in a video like this to be featured on our show, perhaps. Either way, I really look forward to hearing from you and can't wait to explore Bastrop County with you. Just make sure that you address your questions to Hey Sarie, that's me.
Hi everyone, my name is Heather Ott and I am the General Manager of the Elgin Courier and the Bastrop County Insider, and here is your weekly beat.
Last week's issue of the Elgin Courier and the Bastrop County Insider was loaded full of local events, action-packed sports, a COVID update, and you can meet the candidates who are vying for spots in the Bastrop County City Council and School Board. Our community calendar lets you see what's happening in your local area. Along with the multitude of events, businesses have the opportunity to showcase any specials or discounts they can provide to their customers. In next week's issue, I have a special section, our Medical Health and Wellness April edition. This special highlights all of the holidays for the month of April, and it also features businesses who are ready to serve you and your families here in Bastrop County. You can also find updates from Bastrop and Elgin City Council meetings on expansions and upgrades to a multitude of facilities, and we also have our Chamber Connection page. There's a whole bunch of businesses opening up here in the Elgin area. Check it out. And you know I saved the best for last, Kid Scoop. Can you imagine worms that eat plastic? A Spanish biologist may have discovered a way to reduce our world's plastic waste. Find out how this was discovered and play games too on last week's Kid Scoop page. If you're getting the Bastrop County Insider in Bastrop or Smithville, you're only getting a piece of the pie. Don't miss out on news from your local area. Subscribe today and receive the entire Elgin Courier publication delivered straight to your door and your phone. Call us 512-285-3333 and we'll get you set up.
We're excited to have Kay Sapikas with the Bastrop County Museum and Visitor Center. Welcome, Kay.
Yes, absolutely. Glad to have you here.
And there's always something going on at the museum, and I heard that we got to do a little sneak peek.
We did. So Sarie, our field reporter, Sarie Wingenfeld, went out to the museum and she got a tour. So you want to take a look at that footage before we get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm here with Kay Sapikas, and she is going to be telling us a little bit about the museum.
Hi, welcome to the Visitor Center and the Museum. I am Kay, and I'd like to introduce some of my staff. We have Barbara Banna, who is our office manager. She's been here just about 20 years, so she's got most of the historical knowledge. And we also have Gloria Perkins, who is our visitor center manager. So she mans the front desk, the woman's the front desk.
Yeah.
And is a wonderful greeter and manager of the area here.
Great. So just a little bit of experience underneath y'all's belt, right?
Yes.
That's great. So I'm excited to be here with y'all today and gain a lot of information about Bastrop and the history and what y'all kind of do here. And you guys coordinate with all sorts of events that are in town, all kinds of things along those lines, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do some of our own events, and then we do partner with a variety of people whenever possible.
Right. Yeah. So I love that because Bastrop really is a good all-around wraparound community that everybody just kind of reaches out and helps one another out, and that's what this place is all about, which is so Bastrop.
And it is the place where people go first.
Yes. Right.
Right. To get information, to see what's happening.
Right.
We have brochures. We have visit Bastrop's website up, so there's always accurate listing of the events that are happening. So
and a lot of people are moving to Bastrop, and so if they're new to town, this is a great spot to kind of find your home base.
Well, you would
want to move.
You would know about how many, like, do you have a percentage or like of people who are moving here that come in?
A lot. It seems that Austin is moving here.
I know.
I'd like viewers to see the museum, or at least a sneak peek of it, and Barbara here will take Sarie through and show you all.
Yay! Awesome.
Okay, let's go.
I love history, so I'm excited.
Great.
So this is the museum, and this is where the rich history of Bastrop as a town is showcased.
That is correct. Bastrop is considered the second most historic town in Texas.
Oh wow, that's
and,
cool.
We won this award back in the 1990s. And it was the second established settlement by the Anglo-Americans when they came to Texas. Santa Fe, or San Felipe de Austin rather, is the original settlement, and so Bastrop was the second settlement.
Wow, and so I knew that it's a part of like the walk too, right? What walk is that? I see the signs everywhere.
The El Camino Real.
Is it the El Camino Real walk?
It's a part of the El Camino Real, which is the second exhibit right here.
Oh, okay.
We start, of course, with a timeline, a typical way to start history. The earliest here on the bottom, and then ends with the fire which occurred in 2011.
Right, right. And I think a lot of people really remember that, and that hits home.
Yes.
For a lot of people, local Bastropians, and it was real tragic here, but of course we rebuilt. Wow, this is amazing. So what is this?
This is the lower jaw of a mastodon. And I always like to point out that this is our oldest artifact in the museum. It was found in 1992 on the first island to the south of the Highway 71 bridge. And it was taken to the University of Texas and was dated as being between 9 and 20 million years ago.
Wow.
So you can see why I say it is our oldest artifact.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. You see how rocks were carried down by the current and lodged in these crevices within the jawbone of the mastodon.
So this is the gift shop. Look at these cute quilts, some postcards. So obviously you can purchase some souvenirs here. And there's also lots of really cool historical stuff, obviously, because of the museum. So look at this calendar. It features historic homes. Oh, I love historic homes. I could literally just drive around all day looking at beautiful historic homes, and this calendar showcases them. So I wouldn't have to drive and waste gas, especially with prices these days. I could just look at my pretty calendar. Oh, look, it snowed. It snowed. There's proof in Bastrop. So I'm here with Carol Kaiser, and you are, this is downstairs, and this is like the archive area, correct?
Yes.
And this is, you're in charge, you're boss
I
lady
am
down
in
here?
charge, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, definitely I am in charge, yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me, like, this is fascinating. How cool.
It is. We have original Bastrop advertisers going, we have a few copies even back into 1851. We have the first one, actually.
That is amazing. I literally have the goosebumps
yeah,
right now. That is
it's
amazing.
very cool. They've all been digitized. Most of them have anyway on a website. But sometimes you just need to look at the entire newspaper and the ones preceding and following, so you begin to get a flavor of what has happened and what's going on. So it's not just the articles, it's the whole flavor. This room
I love the way that you said that word is like, that's a good description. That's neat.
It is. This room is the collection storage room. We have about, I think it's about 2,000 items in here. For the most part, they're artifacts that are not on display currently. They will be in special exhibits or perhaps in a display case at the library. We switch out their display case every couple of months. So they have something that's of interest to the public down there. This is a very active room, and it's a mess right now. It gets cleaned up about every 3 weeks. I get in here and it looks like it's all apple pie order. Then we start working, and it looks a mess, becomes a mess. There's also
It's just a cycle.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes. Yeah. And there's a volunteer that comes and works down here every week. She's in her 3rd year, I think, and she is transcribing oral interviews that have been taken, even as some of them are like 15 years old, but finally we have a way and a person to transcribe these. Once they're transcribed, they can be cataloged and they can be searched. And so the history that this person lived through, actually we have one oral interview talks about when Bonnie and Clyde came through town. So they're much older, old events, but people are talking about things and we can search those and they become of value then to researchers.
Oh my gosh, that's really
so that
neat.
goes on
So
in
where
this
do we
room.
find this information though? So is there a website? Like, because I want to know what happened when Bonnie and
Not
Clyde
yet.
came.
We don't have a website yet. But
Okay.
I'll show you.
Is that like
room.
the game
I'll show you-
plan?
Yeah, you just call me.
Okay.
Call me.
All
yeah.
right.
That's one of my main jobs is helping people with research on any topic. It could be Bonnie and Clyde. Our most popular topics are Camp Swift and the early freedom colonies in Bastrop County.
Right.
We get more requests for that than just about anything else.
That is so cool. So you help like kids doing school projects.
That and we get email. Got an email probably in my 3rd week here from a lady in Australia.
Wow.
And turned out that her ancestor was one of the people that were killed up in McDade and all of those murders and killings and hangings, in the 1800s, late 1800s.
Never.
So I wonder anyone lived, ever came out of McDade after all of those killings up there. And her ancestor was part of it. And so this is pretty exciting. So we get emails and phone calls and people coming in.
That is, so I would spend forever here just picking your brain.
I have the best job in the county.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
it's
so
the
cool.
best, it is the best job, yeah.
Yeah.
Very fortunate. Very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure it just never ends. Like,
it never
with all
ends.
the knowledge. Yeah.
It never ends. New
I love
things
it.
all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to show me the library?
I do.
Okay, great. I'd love to see it.
Now, this is the research library. The young woman over here is Tracy Frary. She's a staff member, archivist, and she's been with us for a little over a year and a half. And she does excellent work. We are so blessed to have her here. Takes a certain mindset to do this type of work. You roll your socks, you alphabetize your spices, everything is in order. And that's the kind of mind that it takes for this kind of work.
Sure.
Because once we put it away, if it can't be found, it might as well not be put away, we might as well not have it.
Right.
So we have a computer-based software that catalogs every item we have in here. And we have 12,000 items in this room. And photos, documents, deeds of all kinds, letters, just whatever, shows up.
Yeah, so I see, is that a letter right there? What do you...
Yes, it is. And I wanted to show this to you. A woman and her husband came by last summer, older people, and his family, there were 5 families that were his ancestors. They came to Bastrop County in the 1830s. And they brought us 2 big boxes full of stuff. We had no idea what was in it, but we gratefully accepted all of it. So then I start looking through it, and among all of the things, we have, let me move this so you can see this a little bit. This is something else. We have 5 letters written between 1833 and 1838 between this man and the woman who would be his wife.
Oh my gosh.
And they start out that they are arguing. And the first letter, he says, I know you're mad at me, but I'm mad at you too. It's kind of like Twitter, I guess, or something in the olden days. But now we have the 1838 letter, Dear Wife. So time changes.
Wow.
And they will be stored in archival sleeves. We have a volunteer, again, who's going to write a synopsis of these pieces so that we can catalog them and they will be searchable. Someday, someone will show up who is a descendant of this family, member of this family, and you can go onto Ancestry and other places and you can get names and dates. But here is where you find the letter that they wrote.
Sure.
In 1851, we've got a letter when a man writes to his dad back in Tennessee and said we had a baby girl, we named her Belle. And then we have another letter a year later, Belle died.
Oh, no, oh my gosh,
it's
wow.
a hard life out here.
Right.
And we have the documents, the letters, the photos that show it was a hard life that created this little town.
Right?
Well, we were on the edge of Indian territory. If you look, it's Comanches from here, here west, and so a lot happened here, and the people that lived here were tough. And there were hard times for many people, but they persevered, and here we are now.
Right.
I get to be involved in all this.
Yeah, no, I think it's really amazing and beautiful what you do. I actually really think that you, as you said, you probably do have the best job in Bastrop County because you're preserving history, people's memories, people's lives, and you're sharing that with the community and their ancestors and things like that. That's just amazing. I really admire it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Come down and see me sometime.
Yeah. Oh, don't invite me twice because you're going to get sick of me.
Okay, so this is Bastrop's first motorized fire truck.
Correct. We purchased it in 1916.
I don't know why it's such a tongue twister.
I know. But it's a 1915 fire truck. It's a great photo opportunity for families.
Yeah.
Children love it. We can ring the bell, and they love that as well.
Oh my gosh, I want to hear that. Shut the front door. That is awesome.
It's wonderful. So you can't sit in it, but it is still a really nice piece.
No, absolutely. I feel like a little kid next to it. So, and what else do we have going on in here? You have like traveling, moving exhibits?
We do. We do sometimes traveling ones. We do special exhibits. This one's changing out right now. This one will open tomorrow, which is April 16th.
Yeah, cool.
And it is on Mount Rose Baptist Church. And that's our theme for the year is churches in Bastrop. This Mount Rose Baptist Church is 135 years old.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It's pretty old. The last one we had was 125 years old. So the other thing that we do is every May, which is just around the corner, we do downtown walking tours. And they start here at the museum and they go down Main Street 2 blocks and then they come back. And we have a docent, and Ken Kesslis is one of the docents who does those tours. And again, every Saturday they start at 10 o'clock. They are free to anybody who just comes by the visitor center.
Wow, that's so cool. And so you're literally outside because we are a historic district, and you kind of talk about the ages of each building and
the things that have happened, various things have happened. I don't want to give anything away.
Right, okay, so you have to come to the tour.
Various things have happened throughout the years, and it is very interesting.
Yeah.
And there's lots of time for questions. That sort of thing, and it goes down and back just 2 blocks, so it's not too far. It takes about 45 minutes, but it is free.
Right, cool.
So, yeah, well, everybody comes down and sees that. That would be fun for families, for anybody.
Yes.
It's very family friendly.
Yeah, in May. Okay, and y'all will see me because you've already taught me so much history. I mean, I've loved Bastrop. My heart is with Bastrop. This is my forever home. I've lived in England and Maui and tons of places in between, but Bastrop is my forever home. And I really got to learn so much history today, and I can't wait to go on the tour and learn even more.
Excellent. We hope you do come out, and everybody else.
Yeah.
We always start the walking tours at this spot in front of the Visitor Center and Museum. I always tell the people that have come from other places that we're going to go down these 2 blocks of the 19th century, and they have come here from the 21st century. And I always use this turtle as an example to say we're a slow-paced town, and this turtle is something they can rub and remember to slow themselves down when they get back home and remember Bastrop and live into their own history as well.
I'm so glad we got to see all the background. People don't realize all the work it takes to put a museum together. I bet you could use some volunteers.
Absolutely. We have all kinds of different positions. You can be at the front desk and greet people at the visitor center. Nice. You can be downstairs and help Carol, who you met on the video just a minute ago, who she needs volunteers in the research library, the archival storage area. She's very much willing to train. We have other volunteers to help train as well. And then we have administrative, various jobs that people can do. So.
And what are the hours of the museum right now?
So starting May 1st, we will be open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4. So you can volunteer any of those times, and we would be happy to have you.
Well, that's great. There's always something to do in Bastrop. And I know we were talking about all of the nonprofits that had to do a shift last year because of COVID. And one of the things that I love that the Historic Society does is the home tours in December. And of course with COVID you weren't able to do that, but you guys came up with a creative solution. Talk to us about that.
Right. So the home tour generally generates about over 500 people, and we knew that having 500 people flow through various houses wasn't really a good idea, so we created a calendar. It's a commemorative calendar, and each month features a home, and that home is on the calendar in a way that you can frame it and keep it for as long as you want to, or put it up on the wall, or however you want to use it.
Yeah. That's great.
They are for sale at the Museum and Visitor Center, and I think we might put some here.
Yeah, here at the Hampton. You can stop by the hotel and purchase one.
They're beautiful, actually. They came out really nice.
How fun. So are there plans to do the home tour?
There are plans. We will definitely be doing the home tour this year. It's always the second Saturday in December. But we also have a driving tour that is self-guided. We have the maps at the Visitor Center. So you can come by, pick up the map, and take a drive through the historic district, and it has little information on all the different homes.
Fun,
really fun. Yeah.
Fun. I tell you, being a person who's only been here a few years, I've learned so much about that's so steeped in history here, right?
Absolutely.
There's, there were Native Americans that were here long before us, and that just all kind of really interesting things about Bastrop County that you don't know unless you take the time. And, I find that a lot of people will go to museums when they come into, and I have a lot of people here at the hotel that come to see the museum. But a lot of times local people don't think about go to your own museum.
Well, it's so true. We frequently have visitors who are from Bastrop who say, I've lived here 12 years, didn't know that you were here. And then they go through the museum and they're so proud that they live in this community. And it's a remarkable museum. A group of people, local people came together and created a spectacular place.
It's
got to see it.
And we have a steep history in religious buildings, with the church buildings and churches that have been for a very long time. And I think you've got an exhibit about that.
We focused on churches this year for our special exhibits. The one we just closed was the Bastrop Christian Church, which was 125 years old.
Wow.
This coming up now, which opens on Friday, is Mount Rose Baptist Church, which is 135 years old. So yes.
Wow. I had no idea we had churches that old.
And the next one will be the Ascension Catholic Church. I'm not sure how old that one is yet, but.
But it's great because you can go by and see those buildings. I know at the Bastrop Christian Church, often if you can catch somebody there, they're happy to give you a tour of the inside. And TJ, an example of how we all work together, there's a new roof on the Bastrop Christian Church, but because the church worked with the Historic Landmark Committee, if you drive up, you won't think that it's an old roof.
Wow.
But it's state of the art. It'll be a roof that serves them well for a very long time. But they've made sure that it's historically accurate to maintain the integrity of the building.
Yep. That's incredible that they do that. I wouldn't have thought of that. It's like, hey, we have so many beautiful historical homes and really buildings here in Bastrop, and that's something that I hear a lot from visitors. It's like, wow, you go to the downtown area and it's just amazing. You could drive. I know at Christmas time, I live here and I still drive around the streets and look at the houses because they're always so
Well, you have to
beautiful.
remember, so downtown Main Street is very, very historic. And we have docents who do, and we'll do those in May, as I mentioned. And you can just walk with this docent and you will learn all about the different things that happened along Main Street throughout the years.
I'm doing that. I would
and they're
love
free.
to hear that.
They're at 10 o'clock on every Saturday in May.
And they don't cost anything?
They don't cost anything.
Now, guys, like Connie always says, what's better than free? I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming out.
Sure.
Thank you for giving us a sneak peek into the museum. And
I know,
absolutely. And can you tell us what your web address is? Where can people go to find out more information?
Okay, so it's www.bastropcountyhistoricalsociety.com.
Now, you guys will remember that because it'll be ticking across the screen.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kay. We always appreciate you coming and visiting us, and make sure that you go to the Museum and Visitor Center.
Thank you.
TJ, I always enjoy filming these episodes, and this might be one of my favorites.
It really was. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that everyone enjoyed it. So you don't want to miss any future episodes, and you can even watch all the past episodes if you go to theheartofbastrop.com or follow us on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next week.
Take care.